Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me in this lesson. I am so excited because today I'm bringing you a very important lesson where I'm going to talk about 10 common mistakes that students make in the International Second Language Proficiency Rating Test. So today we are looking at the topic that you can see on the screen, 10 common grammar mistakes to avoid before writing the ISLPR test. Without wasting your time, let's dive into it. Now, I have been talking about this in my videos, almost all my videos on my YouTube channel, that the ISLPR writing test and indeed speaking, reading, and listening, all the four macro skills, when you are being tested in those skills, the examiner will focus on testing your accuracy, your coherence, and appropriateness of language use, either in speaking, in writing, any other way that may be applicable in the exam room. Okay? Small grammar mistakes will lower your score, and they may even make it lower to the extent that you might not be able to register as a teacher or to enter that vocational college or even uni. So you need to be wary of small mistakes, and you need to be thinking about these mistakes in order to understand how you can correct these mistakes. And avoiding these common mistakes that we are going to discuss will help you to write clearly and to use language professionally. Okay, that's what you are going to do. So let's look at mistake number one: subject and verb agreement. The mistake usually with subject and verb agreement is using singular subjects with plural verbs or vice versa. Let me give you an example. The results is ready. The results is ready. You can see that results is a plural noun. Is a singular verb. So you need to use a singular verb with a singular noun or pronoun, as it should be. Now, I've got a topic on this on my website. You can go there and just read about it. How can you fix this mistake? You need to identify the true subject and ensure that it's in agreement with the verb. Again, read that article. Let's look at mistake number two: misuse of articles. Articles are words like they, a, and. For example, an apple, an orange, the people, or a bicycle. So how do you use this word? In most cases, students overuse or omit these words. Let me give you an example. Information is essential. No article is needed, for example, because information is uncountable. You cannot say an information is essential. You cannot do that. So overuse is wrong. Underuse or not using it is also wrong. Mistake number three: confusion with tenses. A lot of candidates who go to write ISLPR exam confuse tenses. For example, mixing past simple and present simple, present perfect. Let me give you an example of a mistake. I am knowing the answer. That is incorrect. You cannot say I am knowing the answer. You should say I know the answer. I know the answer. Okay? So, how do you fix that mistake? Past simple, use past simple for finished time and the present perfect for connection. For example, you can say I have eaten, right? I have eaten. You ate in the past, but you are still full. So you can see that connection between, let's say you visit me and I invite you to eat the food, to join me eating the food. You can say I have eaten, which means you are still full, although the eating itself happened in the past. But if you say I ate, it's a different situation. It happened in the past and it has got no connection to the present. So to fix that, past tense is really for finished actions, or for the time that happened in the past and everything remained in the past. Present perfect is for using the past to connect to the present, as I've explained in the example. Number 4, run-on sentences. Mistake number 4 is run-on sentences. How does the mistake come in? Joining independent clauses incorrectly. Now, an independent clause essentially is a sentence. Okay? An independent clause is essentially a sentence. So how do you connect those? It's very important. You need to understand how you connect them. The teacher was late. The students waited. Okay, I think that sounds disconnected somehow, even though it's one sentence. So you need to fix that by using a conjunction or by using a semicolon. So if you use a conjunction, you can say, the teacher was late, so the students waited, or therefore the students waited. You see, use a conjunction there to fix that. Mistake number 5, sentence fragments. Sentence fragments include incomplete sentences, okay? So if you are using incomplete sentences, you might be using sentence fragments. For example, because of the late delivery, you just end there, because of the late delivery. So what? I know in speaking sometimes we say this, somebody said to you, why did you not put on that uniform? You can say, because of the late delivery. You know that it's because it was delivered late and therefore you couldn't wear it, right? In speaking, we understand that. But please, when you go for the exam, use complete sentences, complete ideas. You can say, because of the late delivery, I failed to use my uniform. Be complete, because you don't know when you'll be confusing the examiner with the incomplete information. So to fix that mistake, ensure each sentence has a subject and a verb. Subject and a verb. I'm going to put a link to most of the mistakes I've talked about. I think there are articles on my website which you can read. Go and check them out. Mistake number 6, preposition problems. What's the mistake? Wrong prepositions after verbs, time, expressions. For example, discuss about, in Monday. Okay, prepositions come with their own mistakes, and some of them include adding prepositions to words that do not have prepositions. Like, you cannot say, we are going to discuss about the idea of you going back to Europe. You can say, we are going to discuss the idea. So you discuss the idea, not about, okay? How about misuse? I'm coming in Monday. I know it doesn't even sound good to you, but yeah, people make such mistakes. Instead of saying on, you say in. How about interest? Sometimes people say, I am interested to know what you are thinking about this. No, interest goes with in. So you can say, I am interested in knowing how you will go about this. So you need to know which words go with which preposition. So for you to fix this mistake, you need to learn collocations and how to use in, on, at correctly. You need to do that. Mistake number 7, pronoun errors. The mistake is ambiguous references or mismatch. For example, when the manager spoke to the team, they said he was late. Now, look, when the manager spoke to the team, they said he was late. Who is they in this sentence? Is it the team, right? Is it the team that said he was late? When the manager spoke to the team, they said he was late. Who was late? Is it the manager? Is it somebody else that the manager talked about to the team? So this is ambiguous. So pronoun errors, make sure you match. Do not be ambiguous or refer to people who are not specifically known. You need to identify the people. So this is a case of ambiguity, and we can solve this by understanding pronouns and the reference, how to refer to people back. For example, when you say Chanda was going to town, he decided to stop at the market. We know that he obviously refers back to Chanda. He cannot be somebody else because a pronoun only comes after a noun has been mentioned. So you need to remember that when you're using a pronoun, only let it come when the noun itself has been mentioned, and it should be in direct reference to that noun. How to fix this? Keep pronouns close to nouns or repeat the noun. It's better you repeat the noun rather than putting the pronoun far from the noun it refers to. That's how you can solve this. Again, on my website, there's a topic on pronouns, but I've got a book called Grammar Companion. I think English Grammar Companion. Go to my website and you'll find it. I'll put a link in the description. Mistake number 8, misplaced modifiers. Misplaced modifiers. And on this one, I've got a very good example. What is a mistake? Descriptions too far from the word modified, where you are describing something that is too far from the word that is being modified. An example, walking to school, the rain soaked my shoes. Walking to school, the rain soaked my shoes. Now, with this kind of sentence, actually, you need to make sure that after the comma, the thing that did the action is the one that comes. So when you look at that sentence, that example, walking to school, the rain, did the rain do the walking to school? No. So we can change this sentence by placing modifiers next to the correct noun. So walking to school, if I were changing this sentence, I would say, walking to school, my shoes were soaked by rain. Okay? Walking to school because I am the one who walked to school. Or walking to school, I had my shoes. That is actually the best way to do it. Walking to school, I had my shoes soaked by the rain. Okay? That's how you can do that. Again, if you want such complex sentences, Grammar Companion has got this type of sentences and how you can deal with these either in writing or in speaking or whichever way. Just go and check that ebook. I think it should be able to help you. Mistake number 9, sorry. Mistake number 9, wrong word forms. Using wrong forms. Using wrong part of speech. A part of speech is just a word class like a noun, a verb, a pronoun, and so on and so forth. For example, how do a lot of people make this mistake? They will, this example, this will reduction costs, this will reductions. Again, this is a ridiculous example, but I put it there that instead of using will reduce, you use the wrong form, which is a reduction. And sometimes it could be that you didn't just pay attention when you are writing, you write the wrong form. This is where things are actually, this is where things become bad. So for me, if we are to correct this mistake, then you need to learn word families. It's very important. Reduce, reduction, reduced, and in most cases, even just a Google search for these words, they'll give you the pronoun, they'll give you the verb, the noun, and other word forms that may exist for that particular word. So it's very important that you do a simple search. Mistake number 10, punctuation and capitalization. This is very big. Why? Because there are a lot of misuse, especially for apostrophe and missing commas and sometimes no capital letters. Now, to fix this problem, use commas for non-essential information. Use apostrophes for possession. Okay? For example, Kaunda's lesson. This is my lesson, so we use apostrophe to show possession. Then always capitalize proper nouns and sentence starts, meaning that every sentence should start with a capital letter and every proper noun must be capitalized. If you don't know what a proper noun is, Grammar Companion, English Grammar Companion on my website will do a very good job to tell you what that is. These are the mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, that I thought we should talk about, but there is a way on how to check your work. After you write in the test, you can check this for. Check for subject-verb agreement. Make sure plural nouns are going with plural verbs. Make sure you check articles. Have you used them correctly? A, an, and they. Review tense timelines. Make sure everything is in line. You are not mixing tenses. Make sure you don't have run-on sentences, and scan prepositions just to make sure you have used them correctly and with the words that they come with. And then clarify pronouns and modifiers. Make sure the pronoun is very close to the noun that it is replacing. Then remember to use words correctly in their correct word forms. And lastly, check punctuation marks. If you do this and you find that it's perfect, then you're going to pass your test. Now, as you might have noticed, this is a very long list of mistakes, common mistakes that a lot of candidates make, okay? But remember that the ISLPR writing test measures real-world communication, so you can fix these mistakes by practicing and just by using language accurately and being clear as you communicate, and make sure you avoid these errors and build your own confidence. Now, what I want to say in closing this lesson is that you can see that each of those mistakes can actually be a topic on its own, and I can teach you how to deal with any of those mistakes that I mentioned. If you are interested in that, please let me know in the comments. Then I'm going to prepare 10 lessons based on these presentations. And if you found this lesson valuable and if you think it's going to help you or someone else, make sure to share this lesson and make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. Then I'm going to bring you more lessons. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.